Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. How are you doing? I hope you've had a great week and you're looking forward to the weekend, much as I am. Here's the stories of the past week that most caught our attention here at VUX World. Number 5. Google AI has announced SoundStorm. This is an incredible tool for synthesizing convincing sounding conversations. And when you think about it, it's a very smart move. Because text to speech, it speaks very clearly, but the prosody, as in the melody and the loudness of the words, the way that it emphasizes specific words as it says them, it just sounds random. It's clear. The words they're saying are clear, but the way they're saying it, it's like text to speech, of course, doesn't know what is most important within the text that it's saying. And you can use SSML to highlight specific words or clusters of words. But we don't actually speak that way. We don't go from one pitch that's low and then suddenly jump to a high pitch on the next word. There's a smooth flowing, we fade, we evolve from one to another. And you can hear with SoundStorm that they're much closer to that. It's really quite incredible because they're generating entire dialogues. So one speaker speaks, and then the next reacts when they respond. And it sounds very good, and that's much more natural because we do react. As we're talking, one person speaks, the next speaker reacts to that, and so on, vice versa, and it continues that way. So that's great. The question is, when are you going to use this? It is probably extremely useful for podcast makers if they're going to synthesize an entire interview, which is a very interesting question, why you would want to do that. For conversational AI, you speak to a bot, and then do you want to hear that bot have a conversation with another bot? Maybe. Most of the time, that seems to defeat the purpose of asking a bot to go and do something if you're going to then hear it talking to another bot about it, because the time it takes for them to talk about is much longer than the time it takes for them to just go and do the thing. Big question. Maybe there are uses for it, but anyway, it sounds great. Definitely worth checking out. Number 4. Apple is releasing a mixed reality headset called the Vision Pro. Many people have speculated that when you're in VR or AR or mixed reality or whatever you want to call them, voice is a perfect fit. Because if you have a keyboard and mouse, you have to be aware of those devices while you're moving around and perhaps even walking around in that synthetic space. So it makes much more sense to be able to talk to it and for it to talk back to you as an interface rather than using wired devices. So there's a lot of potential there. The issue is that the Vision Pro headset costs $3,500. Think of all the things you can buy with $3,500. There's many that I'm sure would instantly benefit your life. Would the Vision Pro instantly benefit your life? That's a question for you. It seems, from what I can gather, that Apple have created a new operating system. So you put on the headset and then you're basically immersed in your desktop and whatever programs you're using. And of course, that can be like this vast canvas and you can look at something and it'll focus on that, or you can use gestures and, of course, voice. So it all sounds incredible. It's just I'm not sure if it's $3,500 incredible. If you have the money, do you need that? That's a question for you. Maybe killer apps are coming for the Vision Pro. Maybe not. Let's move on. Number 3, marketing firms are getting super serious about AI. Stephen Bartlett's flight story of hired ex-Google chief Mo Gaudat, I think that's how you pronounce it, maybe Mo Gaudat, anyway, as chief AI officer. Have a think about what that means. They consider AI to be so important to their business that they're willing to employ big names to influence the future course of their business. It seems like what this means is that marketers are going to start using AI to an ever greater degree. That's the implication. So, more digital avatars, more synthetic voices, more generative AI, such as videos, text, audio, whatever you can imagine. All of these things being used by marketing to try and grab people's attention. So, just expect a lot more activity in that area. Number two, Cohere have raised another $270 million. So Cohere build AI models for enterprise customers. They're a direct competitor to OpenAI, who have created ChatGPT. So their funding has come from some big names, including Oracle, Salesforce, and NVIDIA. But they claim their stance is still neutral because there isn't one dominant big investor. And that's a direct reference to OpenAI, who have taken a lot of investment from Microsoft. What what's happening here is that, potentially, if you go with Cohere, you can get an AI model that is purpose designed for your business. Whereas you could say that OpenAI have been so heavily invested by the likes of Microsoft, so their models are built with Microsoft's guidance and Microsoft's needs perhaps in mind. So the question is, if you go with OpenAI's solution, is it purpose designed to your needs? And if the answer is no, then perhaps Cohere can give you something that's more suited to your needs. It's also really interesting because it seems that really there's there's a lot of interest and investment in AI solutions that don't come from the big five, that don't come from Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Google, sorry, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Apple, or Microsoft. And so generative AI came to prominence with ChatGPT. I think it's fair to say that most people are aware of generative AI because of ChatGPT, but that doesn't mean that the story has to end there. There can be so many other players in the space, and maybe those that are coming up, such as Cohere, are more suited to your needs. Again, it's a question, but it's really interesting what's happening there. And so, what is number one? Here we go. In the next 10 years, our industry is predicted to grow at a rate of 17.3%. So that's pretty astounding, incredible, great figures. That means our $9.6 billion industry should become a $47.6 billion industry by 2033. What can you take from that? I think, many people, including we at VUX World, have believed in this industry for years, and it's still got momentum. It's still growing because the ability to talk to helpful assistants at any time of day improves customer service. It improves experiences. It can make people's lives better. It can mean that they spend far less time waiting in phone queues, for example, and that's just one example of where this can help. AI helps humans to do better work. When the routine tasks are done by robots, people can focus their time on tasks that require lateral thinking, or perhaps analyzing even a tiny data set to come to some kind of solution. I wonder how much our industry has been galvanized by the success of ChatGPT and hype. There's issues with ChatGPT, mostly that it will lie to you while acting as if it's the golden child. But it's still incredible conversational technology, and it's proving itself every day. People are finding new uses for it where it's speeding up their work. They're doing incredible things. They're able to rapidly create stuff. People said that AI isn't creative. Now we see that it can create until the cows come home, but you have to be the one that decides whether its creations are good or not. And that's incredible. It's super useful and it's helpful, and it can improve lives if we use it well. And that's the promise we're heading towards. And it seems that analysts also see that potential because they're predicting massive and rapid growth. So, those are the big stories we've found in the past week or so. We hope that helps, and leave comments if you want to discuss them. Don't forget that the Unparsed conference is coming. It will be the first ever conversation design conference, and it'll be in London on the 24th and 25th of July this year. There's going to be some great speakers. It's going to be a great event, great chance for us all to get together and chat about chatting. Chat about talking, chat about speaking, chat about voice, chat about any use of conversational AI. Of course, people will talk about large language models. Of course, they'll talk about ChatGPT because that's just what happens anytime you get all of these people in a room together. And it should be great. So we hope to see you there. Thank you. How were your tea and biscuits? Were they good? I hope so. I hope this made your tea and biscuits taste just a wee bit better. Have a great day. Have a great weekend and see you next week.